Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tftv. We are here. It's Tftv News. Been a while since we've done a TF. Well, the other day actually, but we haven't done a live one in a while. Obviously, we are talking about the managerial position at the minute. Obviously, hot topic. Matt City one. Bit of news that developed last night actually. Border Derby news, which they are set to get 12 points for entering administration. So, quite funny. But Steve Cooper seems to be the man that seems to be the leading man for his job. Things seem to be moving closer and closer by minute. Obviously, a lot of reports last night suggesting that Steve Cooper is set to become vice manager. There's been a compensation fee agreed with Swansea for him to become vice manager if he does. Only reason is because he is on garden leave still from Swansea. Obviously, they're still paying off his contract, so it is being said that we have to agree the fee. So it does look like that. Steve Cooper is potentially not that far. Obviously, they are finalising the last couple of things that, like coaching staff, etc., which makes sense. Obviously, he will want his own men in at the club, so it's nothing new there. A lot of fans have been quite in the middle about it with Steve Cooper. A couple of fans want him, a couple of fans don't want him. Usual things. It will been that little bit of that youth development, that thing that it seems feels like with the direction we are going with, bringing the youngsters through and wanting to be a lot more of a youthful side, that Steve Cooper does fit that thing that Dane Murphy's trying to bring to the club. He has worked at youth level for the national side, so it is practically that he has been that, so didn't know shadow that, and he does play some sort of football. He was at Swansea and got them playing some good stuff, 2 playoffs in 2 years as well. So it's that sort of manager that could actually get us playing some sort of football, which a lot of fans do want. So it's one of them ones where I do feel quite flat at the minute about Steve Cooper and everything what done off for us. I mean, it is match day as well. We have got Huddersfield Town this afternoon. So it's one of them ones where probably Steve Cooper will be at the game. There were some reports I heard last night that Alex Neil's was set to was in line as well, because he was part of that one on Wednesday. So there was some reports suggesting that he was, but it's looking more likely that Steve Cooper will become the vice manager. So but things might change. I mean, football's a funny old game anyway, so this might change, and we might even see someone else, and Steve Cooper might not. So it's that sort of thing that it's looking like, but there you go. We've got the explosive Turton Talks Football. Obviously, want to come on and see him. He is a Barnsley fan. So it's one of them ones where I do think that if things will happen, I think it'll be Monday when he starts. I mean, he probably will be at the game today, and he probably will watch the team play. So I think it will be. Get your comments coming in as per usual, guys. I'd like to hear what you guys like to get your comments coming in. It will be. I think it will be a time where if Steve Cooper does come in, he will need a time to actually implement what he does need to do. I mean, Dane Murphy said in his transfer notes that, in his notes in the programme last week, that it will be 2 3 windows before things will be implemented, which it will do. I mean, we all say that about managers saying as well that you do need that sort of 2 3 transfer windows to actually implement what you want to do. So Dane Murphy is right. I mean, it might be 2 3, might be 4 5 with Forest. So it's one of them ones where I think if Steve Cooper does come in, he will need that sort of time to actually implement what he does actually want to do at Forest. So I think there's no point hiring him and expect him to work miracles. He will need time to put together that sort of idea that he would actually like to do. So I think didn't no shadow that so but overall I do feel like that if given the time and the resources and let him work with Dane Murphy to actually build something, I think it will be good. So but yeah, keep your comments coming in as per usual, guys, and give us what you think and tell us what you think as well. Bar that, didn't much more news that is actually doing one sit down at minute. I mean, it's all talk about the manager. There is a bit of early team news that I've heard that Joe Lolly looks like he will be in, say. And there's Mr. Turton. Oh, explosive Turton.
Morning.
Evening. How are we?
I'm good, good.
So then, Luke, what do you think about what's going off at the City Ground with Steve Cooper looking like increasingly like he is going to get the job?
Well, I mean, people are going on about Cooper's style, but you just don't know. You don't know what he's going to be able to do with the players we've got. And it's all well and good. People going, yeah, but at Swansea he did this. But he coached people like Phil Foden, Mason Mount, for the under 17s when they were there. So you can't be that bad a coach because he's got them through to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage after that. And then he's actually coached Mighton and Johnson before as well when they were in the under 17s. So it's not like he's coming in totally blind. He'll know of players from last season as well. And generally he's 41. So he's a fairly new manager. And most people were screaming, "Oh, let's go and get a manager that can work to the strengths of the players and get us winning." You don't have to play tip-tap football around the pitch to win games. All we need to do is have more chances to then breed more goals. And this is the same Steve Cooper that thrashed us 5-0 in the cup, and I did the famous phrase, this is just starting to get embarrassing now.
That was a separate comment.
So
God.
So it's not. It's not as crazy appointment as you'd first think.
I would only say because Dave Murphy did say last week that it will need 2 or 3 transfer windows to implement what he wants. Do you feel like that with Cooper that he's will get that 2 or 3 transfer windows?
It all comes down to the fact of whether you can see progress.
Mm.
If you start progressing up the table, and in January you get the key players in on loan that he has as contacts. I know we've already got 5 loans already now,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you just be creative with what you've got. We had a thing a couple of seasons ago where we did have more loans than we could have in the squad, but you just on your bench you can just rotate those players around. You pick your
Yeah.
key players, and the ones that need to rotate around, just rotate them. And about this 2-3 season transfer window things, that's all well and good, but you've got to get results on the pitch. He can implement his players, and he can be the one that gives the manager the players to work with. But at the same time, the person in the dugout has to get results on the pitch. Otherwise, it's pointless. You could. This is my whole thing, right? You could put the best attacking players into that squad, but with Houghton, it wouldn't work. With Cooper, you just never know. You never know someone's true style till they manage your team. Unless it's somebody like Warnock that's been around for ages.
Old man Warner. But yeah,
Who I thought was
completely.
actually gonna have a heart attack when he came to us because he was waving his arms around that much and getting angry because he didn't get a throw in. I mean, that's passion for you.
It sure is. But yeah, we basically touched on everything anyway. Like, I mean, Steve. Well, we were expecting Steve Cooper to be there today to watch the team. Anyway, with how we are and all that. So, and obviously, he want to see them before he actually goes there Monday anyway, or even if he agrees to it.
You see, I think Steve Cooper has been watching Forest for quite some time, since Blackburn, for example. And I think giving himself another game to really kind of familiarise himself with the squad, it's more or less done. Steve Cooper is more or less Forest manager. But I think it's more the people behind Steve Cooper that's just holding up the appointment of Cooper.
Yeah, because they needed the compensation fee for him from Swansea, and I think it more as well with the getting the men in that he wants.
Yeah, and the thing is, Stephen Reed and Warren Joyce for today have a free hit. It's a freebie. Yes, it's a league game. Yes, 3 points are at stake, but there's nothing really to lose. We're bottom of the table anyway with 1 point. Won't be for long when Derby get the point deduction, but we're there at the minute. So if we can get a win on the board and actually start closing back into the rest of the table, then who knows? I still think if we get the right person in, we can still finish in the top half this season. It's not the players that are there, it's the mentality. If we can get a switch in mentality where we get the ball going forward, I personally think we've got a dangerous squad. You look at the potential that Zinkernagel's got, the potential Lolly's got. You've got Graben and Taylor that can score goals. I mean, Lewis Graben has already scored a goal this season, when you're playing the ball back across the box, and he's there. You've got to get players playing to their potential and their strengths. Otherwise, they're gonna look bad. I mean, everyone bangs on about how bad Ryan Yates is. He's not a bad player. He's just asking that people are asking way too much of a player like Ryan Yates. He's a tackler. He wins the ball, and then really he should just dish it off to somebody else who can play. Which invariably within our mentality was coming straight back in a square back to Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates would make a tackle, they wouldn't have an option on to pass it. He'd be dilly-dallying with the ball because nobody would come forward and go, pass it to me. The one thing that we need to sort out as well is movement off the ball. If we can get movement off the ball, then we're laughing.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, I mean, well, we'll probably expect Steve Cooper to probably change the formation anyway, because obviously at Swansea he did play 3-5-2, but we don't know if that just because of how the players that he had at Swansea probably fitted to 3-5-2, or do you feel like that with the players we got, he could play a lot more expansive formation?
I mean, you can go for a 3-5-2 because you've got enough central defenders and wing backs now to play that. I mean, you've just signed Rodrigo Ellie on a free just after the window. There wasn't really a need for signing another centre back, but we did anyway. And
yeah.
to me, right, you can then switch in your Johnsons, Lollies, Zinkernagels to the middle and have. You see, people go 3-5-2 is a defensive style of football. It's not. Because if you put, you've got your 3 central defenders, you've got your 2 wing backs, and then how you structure your midfield. If you've got Johnson, Yates, or Johnson,
Ghana.
All right. Let's go Johnson, Ayeda, and Cafu. They all can go forward, but they all can make a tackle. All of a sudden, that's not defensive. I mean, people slag off Cafu. I mean, I think Cafu is decent at passing the ball. You know when him and Garner were in midfield, you were getting balls out wide, and then the wingers were coming back inside, and we actually had a chance of scoring.
Yeah.
Yes, it might not look great, but at least he's had a bit more forward-thinking effort than something like a Ryan Yates has.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with everything what going on with Steve Cooper, and obviously we are playing Huddersfield Town today. Do you think it will give the players a lift?
Well, they can't get much lower. I mean, I didn't stay long enough to actually take much notice of the player reaction on Wednesday, but Sunday, it was evident that Samba and Worrell's confidence was just about shot. They were literally on their knees, more or less, like, well, we've put a shift in. And I mean, with the formation today and anything, I'd just go total all out and have Lolly one side, Martin the other side, and Zonde Silva for
It might start them today, I reckon.
And try and get into that back line. If you could get shaky as hell, I watched Huddersfield against Blackpool. First half, they weren't that great, Huddersfield. It's just the fact that second half, Blackpool made errors.
Mm.
We've got to take the pressure off our back line at all costs. Yeah. If we kept pushing and pushing and pushing that back line, they're going to concede goals. That's just how it happens. You've got to almost go forward more so they then regain their confidence of the stuff they actually are doing.
Yeah.
All you've got to do is get Worrell, McKenna, and the two fullbacks to nail a couple of passes or nail a couple of tackles, and that confidence comes straight back. But the thing is, if you're being asked to clear balls, make tackles, try and play it forward, all at the same time for the majority of the 90 minutes, conceding is going to happen. You've got to go forward, create chances, and if you score goals like 2-3 goals, then if you make a mistake, it's okay, we didn't keep a clean sheet. But the fact that you're not scoring means that not keeping a clean sheet is like, well, you're going to lose then, aren't you?
Yeah. Completely agree. So I'd like to say thank you for Luke for coming on.
No worries. Cheers, Dan.
It's right. Don't forget, Luke, we have got the big game coming up on week Wednesday. It's Barnsley Forest, so we're all very excited for it.
Dan, you're killing me.
And so I'd like to say thank you for watching.